Hey guys, I have a question for you. Have you guys ever gotten the question from someone, why do you try so hard to be different? Well, if you look anything in the realm of like what I look like, colored hair, any tattoos, any piercings, if your manner of dress is, say, alternative, anything that is outside of the usual standards of what people seem to classify as normal. You get that question. I know I've gotten that question. It's usually in a mean-spirited fashion from some loser on the internet who can't get out of the house, get a job, or find a girlfriend. The question itself kind of gets under my skin, not in a way that they mean it to, like in a malicious way. It's just kind of, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, why do you try so hard to be different? What does that even mean? Like, I get what it means, but if you think about it, the question itself doesn't really actually have any solid footing. Because in order to be different, you need a basis. You need, like, something you're comparing it to. Different from what, exactly? Like, you can't just say, oh, you're different. This is an apple, right? This is an onion, right? An apple isn't different because it's not different from anything. But when you bring an onion into the picture, yeah, now it's different. But so is the onion. The onion is also different from the apple. They're different from each other. If I bring another apple into the mix, they're still different from each other because while one's green and larger, one's a Granny Smith apple, and this is a little red one, this is a Macintosh apple. They're both still different from each other while still being apples, so you could argue that they are the same, but they're different. See, here's where science really comes into play. If I have two Macintosh apples, two little red Macintosh apples, and one green apple, well now you can say, okay, which one's different? It's just like one of these things is not like the other. This one's different because this is the common denominator here. If I'm using that correctly. This is the common basis here, is the red Macintosh apples. There are two of them. Therefore, if you introduce the odd one out, so to speak, this is the different one. But what if I have two Granny Smith apples and one Macintosh apple? Now look who's different. You can't just be like, oh, this is different. And different doesn't mean bad because, yeah, apples are amazing. I love apples. I love Granny Smith's apples. You can make so many different desserts with them. They're good for you. They're healthy. They're sweet. They're succulent. They're a snack on the go. An onion, on the other hand, not so much. It's not sweet. Well, at least not like an apple is. You can't bite into it and eat it. I mean, you can. Maybe there's some people out there who like to do that, but it's really not its purpose. It's not exactly a snack. It's for cooking. So it's quite different from an apple in that sense, but is it worse? No. Now, if you're thinking in terms of dessert, like, okay, this is for desserts, this is for a sweet snack. Now, there aren't a lot of great culinary dishes that aren't desserts that involve apples. You know what I'm saying? Most of them have onions. There's a whole lot of onion floating around in culinary recipes all over the place. So if you're like, okay, well, on this end of the spectrum, this one's better. On this end of the spectrum, this one's better. So you can't argue just because they are different or different from each other or however you want to put them in the mix, they're still equally purposeful and they're fine. I know that was really long-winded, but I'm sorry, I'm queen of the metaphors. It makes me feel all warm and fuzzy to be all metaphorical and stuff. My point is when people come to you and say, why do you try so hard to be different? I don't. I just am. If I really have to be labeled as different from what you think that you should be seeing on a daily basis, it's just because I am. I don't try anything. How hard do you think this tries to be an apple? It just is an apple. Like, it just is. Just like this is an onion. It doesn't try to be an onion, and it definitely doesn't try to be an apple. If it did, that would be kind of weird, because, like, oh, hey, look, it's green, and I'm just gonna just wouldn't work. It doesn't fit the mold. No more than an apple can try to be an onion. It just is. I just am different. You just are different. From what? That's my point. Is the different from what exactly? If you want to say from societal standards of what is normal, then I beseech thee, next time you go out anywhere in a public place with lots of people, look around. I don't know where everybody lives. This might be different region to region, but I've moved around a lot of places. I've lived in 4 different states, and I've traveled all over the place, and I see tons of people with colored hair, piercings, tattoos, black clothing, you know, alternative looks, whatever. It's not that uncommon, so I don't quite get why we are still, we as in the different people, why we are still considered different. I rarely see someone without a tattoo anymore. It's very common to see people with colored hair now. Piercings, I don't really pay much attention to because I don't have any piercings myself, so I notice the things that, you know, make up myself because I'm like, oh, that's cool, you know, I admire that, you know, hey, we're buds, woo, you know. Normal isn't as normal as it used to be, and being different, if you really have to be painted with that brush, then fucking rock it, because you know what? Being different is awesome! You are who you are. You don't have to try to do anything. You don't have to learn anything. You don't have to do anything except for be yourself. And if yourself happens to be different, cool, awesome. So my question for those people who say, why do you try so hard to be different? Here's my question back to you. Why do you try so hard to be the same? And on that note, I'm gonna go cook with my onion and eat my apple and enjoy the shit out of both of them. Because being different is awesome! Alright, that's just a little something I wanted to get off my chest today. Thanks for watching, guys, and I love you all, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye!
Do the apple dance.
Onion solo! Maybe that's what they meant by different. Whatever. They don't have YouTube channels. Fuck them.